All right, welcome back, everybody. Unfortunately, Bitcoin has made history, and not in a positive way. We have closed for the first time beneath the weekly 200 simple moving average. We'll take a look at the charts and how this may affect price moving forward. This is Crypto Rolly, the crypto watch that never stops. Live technical analysis, price predictions, and trading. Remember, this is not financial advice. Do your own research. Trade at your own risk. I am not responsible for your trades. Hit the like, comment, subscribe, tick the bell for notifications. Let's keep it rolling. All right, so looking at the market, we can see last 24 hours, it says Bitcoin is slightly up 2%. Really, we've gone sideways all weekend long, had some big movements in the past few hours. We'll take a look, but mainly that weekly close was so important today, and we failed to close back above the 200 simple. Your volume is still pretty high for a weekend, above 1.5 billion. You did have some minor gains in the altcoins, the top altcoins here, but moving forward with this bearish momentum, we'll have to take a look. Okay, guys, crypto fear and greed index went all the way down to an 8. We did climb to a 12. We'll have to see where we are in 4 hours. Still in extreme fear territories. Sometimes when you get this low, it could be a good buying opportunity. But like I've been saying in these videos, this price is being driven down by a global pandemic. This is not usual Bitcoin price action. This is something larger here. And, we have to just keep that in mind. So we might stay in the extreme fearful territory as long as the world is in extreme fear. Okay. We need to look at a sentiment chart. We need a coronavirus sentiment index the same way we have it for Bitcoin. Okay. To see when we're ready to get, comfortable back into risk on assets. The Bitcoin block halving 56 days away, less than 2 months. And so we did see a little pump earlier today. Price was looking like it might, drop. We were beneath the, 200 simple, which is at 5,500. We were beneath that price. It looked like we were going to fall. And then in a matter of minutes, we went from 5,150 to 5,600 based off this news here that the Federal Reserve slashes interest rates to 0 as part of a wide-ranging emergency intervention. Basically, they want to bolster the U.S. economy in the face of coronavirus. So this had immediate effect. The prices were pumping. It looked like this might be great for stocks, but then immediately the Dow futures off 1,000 points. Okay, so right after the Fed slashes the rates, the stock futures dropped anyways. So as soon as that happened, we also saw the price in Bitcoin drop. So we're going to have to keep our eye on the S&P 500, the Dow Jones, especially early tomorrow morning when Wall Street opens, because Bitcoin in the last, week or two has been following the stock market's price very, very closely. Maybe not always, maybe, over the course of the year, it's, correlated, not correlated, but right now it definitely is. So we're keeping our eye on this type of news here. Okay, so let's talk about it. The pink 200 simple was at 5,500, as of last week. Now it's moved up to 5,525. We closed today's candle, this weekly candle, at 53.43, well beneath. So not only did we close beneath the 200 EMA, but also the 200 simple. This could trigger a lot of bearishness. Okay, this has never happened in Bitcoin's price history. We've always maintained above it, and we're saved by it back here in 2018. So for us to close is definitely something different, and this opens up the possibilities to retest the lows down here. Around, where did we end up? The low was, 1 second, sorry. Just want to be exact. So our low on this candle on Bitstamp was 38.50. Previous price action down here was all the way around 31.50. So we could test this region now that we've closed beneath it. Your 377 EMA on the weekly is creeping up to about 3,500. So anywhere in the mid 3,000s to 3,850, maybe even 4,000 could get tested, because basically, sentiment is going to be bearish. Some people were probably watching this weekly candle close to see if they wanted to, buy in or sell. So this could trigger that. A lot of bots, people use bots and they're tied to different types of indicators. And now that we've closed beneath this, I'm sure that a lot of bots are programmed to be in a sell mode, in a bearish, short the bounce type mode. Okay, so we don't have to drop immediately. We might, and we'll look at the lower time frames. But if we say we don't drop here and we kind of get another little bit of a low volume rally, your resistance now is definitely going to be at 55.27. That's where we're currently. We have this 200 simple. So price is 52.50, and I would say definite resistance around 55.27. Okay, going down to the lower time frames, we can see that this is where we had that pump. So it looked like we were going to drop here, and then that Fed Reserve cutting, the interest rates, all of a sudden we pumped up here, which was interesting because what happened here was the CME opened up. CME's open. Let me put this away. Let's see if we can go to a lower time frame. You can see it. So we pumped up, the CME's opened up, and then we dumped immediately. Within 30 minutes, we filled this CME gap, okay? So I had to, for a second there, be like, all right, was this just going to be a CME gap filled to the downside and then immediately bought up and wick up? But then I saw the Dow Jones news, how they were dropping. And then, with the weekly close beneath the 200 simple, this is looking very bearish right now, okay? So the gap has already been filled. We completely retraced that pump. We're down here at 52.35. Going back to the 1 hour chart, what can we see here? Basically, I've been mostly looking at horizontals, okay? The horizontals, because, a lot of the indicators have been thrown off skew, or they're just not reliable because they're lagging. And when you have such a large price movement, like a 40% daily candle, it's going to throw some of those things off. So the only reliable, thing to look at for me has been these horizontals. So let me go to BitMEX here, and we'll take a look. We did just get an hourly candle close. Okay, so zooming in, we can draw these horizontals here. You can see I have alert set on my BitMEX chart. So we had this horizontal at the top of this range, which was 6,200, and the bottom of this range, which was about 55.80. We were looking to get a close above that. This entire weekend, we were bouncing underneath that resistance, and your support was coming in around 5,200, 5,150 about. So this has been the range all weekend. With this pump, it was looking like, oh, we're about to take off. And in fact, guys, I was able to catch a very nice move. I saw this happening. I saw the good news, and I jumped in, and I actually took profits at 5,800 and 5,900, and then we dumped. I am so thankful. I aggressively took profits there. I put the trades in my VIP for my group. So if you're interested in the VIP, hit me up. There's always a spot for you. $50 a month. Lifetime guarantee if you sign up now. Okay, guys? But yeah, guys, if you're interested in my entries, exits, stop losses, take profits, my strategy, the information's down below, how you can contact me on Discord and Twitter. And currently, I'm also in a short right now because after I took profits here and I saw we retraced all the way back to my entry on the long, thank God I took the profits, I saw that we also closed beneath that weekly 200 simple, and I've taken a short with a very minimal risk here. So if this plays out, I'm going to let this ride actually, because we could see a lot lower levels, but if we find some support here and I get stopped out, I'll just wait and look for another opportunity for entry. But right now I'm trying to hold this, looking good. We're at 52.29. So, the next level down I would like to see, for a short, I'll be happy in my short position. People who our hodlers might get very worried here. But if we close, beneath this 5,200, 5,150, your next area of interest, I would say, is around 4,800. Basically, this is where we had resistance flip support. So around 4,800 could be a target. And then you had another support level here coming at 4,300, and you have, low 4,000. So I would say down, if we're going to continue dumping down, 4,800, 4,300, 4,000s. And, if you zoom out, I can show you where I got some of these horizontals from, actually. Okay, so these white ones here and this purple one go all the way back. That purple one was the support we found right here. And if you actually zoom in, let's zoom in just a little bit. We can do that right here. 1 second. Okay, there we go. So you can also see that this candle stopped short right there and then was rejected from this resistance. So it was a support resistance flip. And then we saw how if you went all the way back over here, we found support and then we launched off. So then if you just kept dragging all the way back here, this might not be the fastest way to do this. Hold on. Let me go back here. You can see that we drag it back over here, and we can see, where we were playing out these levels down the road. So that's the purple line I showed you, how we bounced off the support there. Let me go to the 1 hour. Okay, so you can see we hit resistance and found support. So if we drop, you could find support there again. So yeah, we went all the way back to that price action in 2018 to find that one. And then we have 2 more down here. And I'll show you how I found those as well. And this is something you can do with the altcoins as well, is just go back, look at, the price action in previous years, okay? And we'll show you that real quick at the end, okay? So we found support, and then it was resistance here as well. You can see that, okay? So we drew that line there, and then that's your 4,300 that I showed you at current levels, okay? And then we also had this resistance here, resistance around 4,080. So going all the way back, so you can see why I looked at those levels, and then you come back here. So you get the idea, okay? That's how I'm finding my targets to the downside if we do break down. Okay, so let's look real quick at our stochastics. The stochastics still kind of helping, maybe. On the 1 hour, the stokes are pointed down, so we could continue falling, with this bearish, event that just happened with the weekly close. Looking at, let's go to the 4 hour, see what the 4 hour stokes are crossed down, coming down. So yeah, this could be the potential beginning of a dump. We'll just see how much volume follows up behind it, or maybe we wait till, early morning East Coast time when Wall Street opens, okay? But look at this wick on the 4 hour. That's a very bearish wick for the price to pump up and immediately rejected all the way back down on the 4 hour. Let's look at the stokes on the 12 hour. Stokes on the 12 hour, they were rising, but hinting at a potential cross back down. Okay. And on the daily, nothing too crazy here. They were crossed up, but they also will cross back down if the 4 hour continues. I mean, looking at the daily here, we did have a nice little bounce, but that was expected. After a huge drop, we had a 39% daily candle drop. So what was this bounce? This bounce here from top to bottom was, does that really say 54%? Wait, where am I? Oh, okay, because hold on. Yeah, this candle here, okay, sorry. The candle here is 28%. This candle drop was 45% drop on this daily, and then we rose 28%. So this pretty wild price action, pretty dangerous trading in there. But so we did have that little bounce, but there was no follow through. It's not quite a V-shaped correction bounce. We didn't bounce and then just continue climbing up. We bounced and then floating sideways. So there's not a lot of volume behind this, okay? And we're just kind of going sideways, starting to look a bit like a bear flag, honestly. You know, if you want to draw, you could, you know, try and draw a line like that and maybe something like that. I don't, you know, I'm just fishing for patterns here, but you know, if you zoom out, you know, this kind of looks more like a bear flag or a, you know, a symmetrical triangle. We'll have to see which way we break. You know, Bitcoin tried breaking to the upside a few times here. You know, people were calling for an ascending triangle here. We didn't break out. We didn't break out here. So after, you know, attempting to break out to the upside a few times, I think we'll, you know, see another attempt to the downside. Okay. And you know, let's look at the weekly one last time, see if there's anything I can see. It's been 15 minutes. Okay, that pretty much wraps it up. You know, the weekly close was very important today, and we did not manage to regain 5,500. So I'm definitely still in a bearish mindset and keeping my eyes on the stock market. That pretty much sums up, you know, everything right now. Our weekly Stokes are coming down. Your RSI hasn't been oversold yet, so you still have room to come down if we do dump further before it's oversold. You know, like the Stokes coming down. Yeah, I think, you know, we definitely will see some lower levels. It doesn't have to come all the way to 3,500, but, you know, the 4,000 region definitely seems more likely right now. If we do test back up, you know, 5,500 will be your resistance, okay? I think that's all I have to say on that matter there. Let's look at some altcoins. Hit the like, comment, subscribe if these videos help you out. All right, remember, hit the tick the bell for notifications, also so that you get these notifications immediately. By the time you see this video, the price could be way different, so you definitely want to watch these as soon as they pop up if you have the opportunity. So let's look at Ethereum real quick, see how Ethereum finished up the weekly. So this weekly candle closed back beneath this low, so you definitely have a high, a lower high, low, and now a lower low. As far as the candle bodies, we're not even, you know, the wick obviously, but the candle body also closed at a low. So, you know, very likely with the weekly Stokes coming down, also with Bitcoin's price action, you know, there's a good chance we could revisit back down to the lows around $90. And then if you zoom out, you know, I've been showing this recently. Okay, yeah, I had this trend line drawn here. This rising trend line, we closed the weekly beneath that. So if we do rally, you could potentially test it as resistance. So a breakout retest, and we'll see if it gets rejected or not. But not good to see that we closed that weekly beneath it on Ethereum. So I'm saying, yeah, levels around $90 to $80. And then if you break lower, you have this $50 region, this support box. There was some trading back here, and then you had more trading action back here around $10, $12, $15. You know, this is going to be pretty freaky if we go that far. I'm not saying we are, but those are the levels of support. You can see when we were falling here where we found support. Just drag this one out a little bit, and you can see there is trading back here. So when we were up here, and you said, okay, there's some price action here, that could be support, people here were probably calling you crazy, but that is where we ended up landing. So if we lose this level, that would be the next target around $50. Let's look at Link. Link, oh, that's a terrible weekly candle as well. Let me just get rid of these. I don't need those up there anymore. We had drawn some horizontals for Link as well. Let me look at the daily, see what happened. So we bounced off of here, came back up, rejected, and then rejected by this one, and about to lose this horizontal. So we can draw one, you know, right here now. Okay, let me change the color on this. Don't need the dashes. Okay, so we are currently around $2. You lose $2, and you're looking at $1.75 as your next target. And then we can draw one down here as well. This would be around $1.56. So this is your range. You lose $2. We're looking at $1.75 to $1.55 around there. Otherwise, if you can bounce here, you still have resistance at $2.33 and then resistance at $2.62. So you pick your coin. We can do this, all day on every altcoin, and so you get the picture. I'm not going to cover all of them, but Tezos, not looking healthy. We did have that bounce, but just trending down on the daily candles, one bearish candle after another. We bounced off of this horizontal we had drawn using this range here and was rejected here. You can see we were rejected here back previous price history here and here, so that's an obvious place to be rejected. That's about $1.76. Price is at $1.50 on Tezos. The lower part of that range is $1.20. The next range low would be 82 cents, okay? And if you lose that, you can draw one here, you could draw one here. One level at a time, break out those horizontals. Let's look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin seems to be holding up around 52.50 at the moment. So we'll have to see what happens, but this is definitely, a bearish candle on the daily with that large wick. Could we get a little bit of a retest of 5,500? Always a possibility for sure. So you don't want to go all in just thinking, okay, I'm going to enter here and I'm not going to have a stop because we're just going to dump down to $3,000. No, we could rally. All of this could just be, a whale manipulation. That's the other thing. Everyone's looking at the same chart and the same indicators, and the people with money, they know that. So sometimes they will purposely push price in a direction that will, trick most traders, kind of like with the golden crosses and the death crosses. We had a golden cross we were talking about, a couple weeks ago, and then immediately we've been dumping since. So, they call that painting, patterns. Sometimes it'll look like an obvious head and shoulders pattern might play out and then it fails. The market makers can paint those patterns, if that makes sense to you. All right, so just still, looking at a range between 5,500 and, what do we say, around 5,150, 5,200. So if that breaks, you're going to be looking around 4,800 down to 4,000. All right, one level at a time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.